So what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are all doing well. So this is not a rock video. Well, this is sort of a rock video. So those of you guys know that this is my portable trailer I use to cut material while we're mining it, so we know that it cuts good before we bring it to market. A big problem we've been having is not the rock part, but if you notice all that junk all over, it's not junk actually, it's all my tools, pretty much all tools. And what we would have is, if you guys look in previous videos, you'll see like we have stuff piled up here in crates and all this stuff. We're trying to work on things and we waste so much time digging in my toolboxes for the right kind of screwdriver, for this, for that. So I have an idea. I actually got this toolbox for my trailer. I got it at Harbor Freight. It's a really great little toolbox. It had a dent in the side of it, which this thing's gonna get framed in anyways. So I got it for like 300 and some bucks. It was dirt cheap, really well built. But doing this conversion, guys, this will save me so much money. And then once again, I could pass that on to my customers instead of raising prices. So little creative ways like this of doing things like this, where you think you spend a little bit of money, but you end up saving a lot in return. Plus you add value to your trailer. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna run Armored Romex. I'm gonna run it down, put one more outlet here, and I'm gonna put two up there. I have this laying on its back because I'm gonna play around with the wheels here a little bit. But this is gonna get stood up, and then a workbench is gonna get built over top of this. And eventually I'm gonna get regular wheels for this, or swivel wheels on the side there. And I'm going to put them on that side and put a foot brake. So when you're traveling, basically a pin will come down and lock this whole cabinet right into the floor. Actually, two of them. I already have them outside, but I got to get the other wheels, or I'm looking at maybe a track system to slide back and forth. I'll show you guys another video. But anyways, the toolbox will be there, and then there'll be a workbench on top. And then these two saws are going to get not permanently mounted, but they're going to get mounted into the trailer in here. So they're right up front. And eventually I'm going to put another oil drain in the LS10 here and have these route together in a Y connector, go down through the table and have a ball valve. So when we want to move and we want to move camp, we literally just turn a ball valve, the oil drains down into a reservoir that's below that, it'll all be hidden. And literally we can pack up and go in 15 minutes instead of literally, it takes me an entire week. Guys, to pack up and move if I'm doing it myself. Now having help and stuff, it was taking us a day, to move all this stuff. But I mean, this is all mining equipment and whatever else, all tools, all stuff for out here for, for digging and cutting material. And it's highly unorganized. You can see, stuff down the bottom is all disorganized. So we're trying to get rid of this clutter because it will save us time, which time is money. So long story short, once again, just to go down and I'll show you guys in the next steps. That's going to sit there, workbench right on top of it. It'll have all our tools all nicely organized instead of just throwing toolboxes. And then I'll have a cabinet up here on the wall, a double door cabinet to keep our oil, ratchet straps, all that good stuff in it. So everything will be organized. Yes, we are adding a little bit of weight. With the lumber and stuff like that, I figured I'm going to add about 212 pounds. Is what I'm figuring, and that's obviously a rough. That was actually based around the framing design that I had for a smaller toolbox that was deeper. It was actually the same cubic inches, but it was a different style, with this one being not quite as wide, but longer. It fits perfectly. And this actually, I got this at Horrible Freight Tools. Yeah, I call it Horrible Freight. But no, they're starting to actually make some really good stuff, guys. I mean, I have a toolbox that's several $1,000s back in my shop that's, oh gosh, it's about double this size. I use it down in the machine shop. And this thing is built just as good. I mean, it really is. You're paying for a name, a lot of times with this kind of stuff. So that's the plan. And I'm going to get to work. All right, so we are quite a ways away, or quite a ways along. As you can see, so the inside of the trailer, this is the shape of the back wall. There's all kinds of hard angles, and the way they put the boards in the trailer, nothing, they didn't put it in straight. So it created this real wonky, kind of crooked, more or less piece that has to be cut, which I finally have drawn out. And it actually took a few hours and a ton of measurements because I'll show you guys. So the way they put these boards in, these boards are not flat against the angle. They actually have them in crooked. And those are in crooked. And those are in crooked. So because they put them in crooked, you know, just rushing along, I guess, when they were building these, it made it really wonky. So hopefully I'm really close. So there's the tool cart. For now, I left the wheels on it, and I'm going to mount it in there until I buy this tracking system. And then at that time, then I'll take the wheels off it, and it'll actually slide out from the wall, have a handle in the front. Maybe I'll do like an update video, you know, something like that. So, and there you go, guys. So Arizona as biting flies. I know that's disgusting, but these things, like, they literally drill into you, like big ones like that one. Oh, they're absolutely terrible. That's one of the biting ones right there. Oh, they're nasty. Anyways, so for now, I'll leave it hard mounted, you know, so it's secure. I have little hinges or little L brackets that I bent up over here and just, you know, screwed it in, and I locked the wheels underneath, you know, so it's not going anywhere. Even in case of an accident, it should hold in. I'll put some more securing stuff on the bottom, maybe some straps, you know, that are mounted to it, or maybe even weld up a bracket for it. Well, I don't have my welder here, but probably make up a piece, get a piece of angle iron and trim it off. In fact, I have a piece out there, and make a bracket to really hard mount that to it. And once it's on the E-track, or not E-track system, but on the track system, I have what they call foot bolts that I'm going to weld on the bottom here. So when you push this tool cart in, you just push the foot bolt down, and a bolt goes down into the floor of the trailer, and it actually locks it in place. So then when you want to, you know, you want to use it as a workbench, you lift the foot bolts and you slide it, and it comes right out. So, but you got to realize, guys, like, I'm working out in the desert, so there's only so much I can do on that base camp. I mean, we have a lot of tools, but, you know, not that kind of stuff. Anyways, man, these flies. So that's how far along we are. I'm going to cut the plywood right now. I actually ripped it to width, to total width, and from there we go. So now we got to cut out. See, I got all my angles. So what I did was, since I only had a circular saw and I didn't have a jigsaw to do complex cuts, what I did was I squared out my angles. So for my width, instead of trying to figure it out, I just drew a line all the way across the board, and I ripped my board to that length. So I knew that this board was its total width, and then broke that down for each measurement in between. So then, instead I ended up with a whole bunch of little pieces of wood, I ended up with these that I figure I can use to make corner shelves with. And then I got a really nice piece underneath I can make something out of. And this right here is actually going to be a packing table. So the way it kind of worked out with ripping them like that, basically, is I literally only have that much scrap and probably a little piece off the corners on that thing. And that's it. So praise God, it worked out. All right, now I got to put it in, test fit it, and see. So now's the moment of truth. All right, so I got the plywood in. Now, got it all cut. There is a gap. You can see there's a little bit of a gap in the back in there, especially there. But that's because this board is crooked. All of these boards are crooked. So that was the closest I can get it. I was trying to take hardline measurements in order to figure out the angles and such. And it works, but trying to offset it for, you know, to account for what they did in half, because we had our patterns in half, it was pretty difficult. But what I'm going to do is take 1x material trim and just put a little piece of trim around it. And then I should have got it when I was out and I forgot. But they make like a rubber matting I was going to put on top of this. Because those saws right there are going to be mounted. Both of them are 12 inches. Yes, people say, no, they're 10 inches. They're actually 12s. They were 10 inches, and I made them into 12 inches. So they sit a little higher in the pan than a normal saw. So I'm going to have to make a bracket, basically, for both of them. And then I have to plumb in a drain on this one here. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually just plugging the drains in the back of the saws, So the hose will go right through here, just like it would. I have a machine I did back at my shop, a drop saw. That's similar, and the coolant lines go down through, and they can snake over and go right into a 5-gallon big plastic, jug reservoir type thingy. So what I'm probably going to do, or I can actually put it in the back and put a pump. There's enough space behind the tool cabinet. This can easily come up this little piece of plywood, and I can plumb that in. So that's something I can do at a later time. For now, I have to scoop the oil out, but it gets me started. Like I said, guys, I'm out in the middle of the desert. So there we have it. That cart, it is totally locked into place now. See, it is not going nowhere. And then there's a workbench on top of it. Now what I'll probably do is maybe frame out a shelf on each side here. Oh man, I really don't want to do that. If you guys knew how hard, and I'll show you that shape. So picture a straight line going across, and then essentially an off-kilter right angle backwards triangle with a board that is crooked. So you literally have 6 angles, 5 angles, but it turns into 6 that you need to account for, and hopefully that's square going up. Otherwise they might be different. So good luck making a pattern. Oh boy. Well, you know what? I can just take my math off of this and probably cut it in half, and then I can cut it in. Okay, I can actually take the equation that I did for this and cut it in half again, which would be like half the template, and then cut that corner off. Okay, that won't be that difficult because I already did it all for up there. That took us forever, but all right. Well, anyways, guys, that's about where we're at. You hear me rolling all this stuff around my head. I want to get this done, and then I have a cabinet that is going to go up on the wall right there, and I'm going to have to move that little, wondrous treat. I call this Kelly's little, whoop. I thought I seen a coyote out there. I turned my head around. We've been getting a lot of coyotes coming in. But I call that Kelly's little fly house of horrors. All right, so, we'll get the cabinet up next. And, or I'll probably finish up with the shelves tonight. I'm just going to probably put one shelf up, I'm thinking. And it's just to put, I'm trying to figure out what I would want to store on those shelves anyways beforehand. So a little bit of math to do. All this oil and all this stuff, I have a cabinet for it. And we're going to do that. So, all right, guys, more to come. Okay, so this is the shape of the little shelf that I'm going to put in there. The X'd out areas there, that's my waste areas. And this little guy here is actually a piece, I think I can use this for something. And these strips right back here, I can actually use on the bottom of the toolbox to help secure it a little bit better on the bottom instead of using angle iron. It'll actually fit right in, and it'll give it like sideways stability basically. And here will be the little shelf. It'll go up, it'll go in a wonky angle, and then it'll go right up into the corner and fit in, and then there'll be one that's mirrored of this I'll use on that other piece there. Okay, so I got it all cut it out. I got it all cut out. And this is the shape of the shelf. And I'll show you how it fit in. Sanded the edges a little bit. So far, that's my total waste. That and this guy I can definitely use for supporting the cabinet. And that guy there, I'm thinking of maybe cutting the angles on that one too, and putting shelves up high above the workbench in the corner with the scrap pieces. So let's see how it fits. All right. So I'm just going to hold this in here. I have to put some supports in for the shelf. Oh. There we go. Little gap there on the side. Oh, wait. Oh, I need to just move it forward. There we go. That's a lot better. There we have it. And we still have space where we can pull the cabinet out. Pretty cool. Then we'll do one on the other side. And then maybe take them slivers. And I'll put a shelf well, I'd have to put it up high, up here. So when the saws are up here, then we could put our rock clamps right up on the shelves. Or I could put little rocks up on the shelves. Whatever you want to do. All right, as they say, onward.